Hi, everybody. This is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion. Your host, and I guess as some of you are currently watching the football game, I figured I would do a live stream. I am the only other game in town, by the way. So please like this video if you haven't already. And we're going to be on for a little while. Well, look at that. About 10 minutes, we'll get to the halftime. So maybe we'll get some people in here. Maybe a lot of the guys that don't want to watch the... Does anybody know what the halftime show is this year? I don't even know. You get to some of the people in the chat. Hello, the Morph Man. You left an interesting message here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Baseball Hut. If you haven't, please like the video and subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Donations are appreciated. And they could be in the form of watching a video. What you could do if you want to watch like a regular video, just watch the commercials or the whole commercial. And before you watch one of my videos. And send me a super chat. Hello, Morph Man. Larry Hernandez. Hello, Larry. Larry from the Bronx. You're on the fan. Larry's one of my best callers. Down the sides, I don't like Larry. He's horrible. Hello, Sean Zarnecki. Trash Man 108. Ernie LeBar. You know, I swear, I'm going to sue the NFL for using my name in every one of their plays. I tell you. Yes, I am live, Larry Hernandez. Mets Talk with Hayden. The Baseball Hut is greater than the Super Bowl. And we'll see how this goes. This might be a tradition. We'll come on during the football game. So we got 10 minutes until the halftime. So that's a great time to come in here. Now, I used to love football a lot. I don't really care for it anymore. I haven't liked it in a long time, by the way. Nelson Cruz. Hello, fellow Mets fans, and the amazing, spectacular, great one. People's champion, the Baseball Hut. Hello, Nelson. So are you excited to go back to Minnesota to play for the Twinkies? Robert, what's going on? Francisco. Hello. How you be? So we're going to do a live stream for a little bit. There's actually some Mets news, believe it or not. There is some Mets news today. Shockingly, amazingly, terrifically, your host, the Hut. So, no. I think my video is... I don't know what's going on. Oh, okay. There we go. I'm losing it. You know. Should have came on a little bit earlier. Yes, who needs football? We're gonna, this might be a regular tradition. You know, we'll come on at the weirdest times. But like I said, only game in town. So as you know, when you get to Albert, Matthew Landau, what's your opinion, if any, on ALMORA Jr.? Well, he's a 4th and 5th guy in the outfield. He's a depth piece. He's sort of he's the kind of guy that is going to be very useful in terms of going against, late in the game. They'll play him all kinds of defensive alignments and stuff. He's a piece, I have no problem with it. I mean, if you think he's the last piece of the puzzle, he's not. He's not. From the Morph Man, did you hear about the Bauer thing that happened with Sandy? All right, I understand that Bauer was a jerk, as we know, and I guess he jerked the Mets around. Let me see. Came across an article. Where is it? Something from the New York Post. I'll read this article to you from my phone. Now, please like this video if you haven't already. Brendan 711, who's currently on the bench for the Mets? We're going to see. We haven't gotten a whole situation. I want to get to spring training. The bench is the least of the Mets' worries. Okay, because the Mets have such a deep, regular, deep everyday lineup that it doesn't matter at this point. And Trashman 108, what do you think the Mets are going to do with Guillermo already? He had 2 at-bats for us last year and somehow hit a home run. All right. This is from the New York Post article from Joel Sherman. I was going to read the article. There was a time in the final 24 hours of the negotiation which the Mets believed they had reached agreement with Trevor Bauer. 3 sources told the Post. They felt Terms had been approved by both sides, and they were working with one of his agents, John Fedorov, toward finalizing details. But there was no term sheet signed. The key element to memorialize a contract was more formally agreed upon, and there were the Dodgers. And by Thursday night, the Dodgers had gone from lurking to pouncing, beginning a final push that would result in them landing the best start free agency on Friday. LA sensed if it was close to an even bid between the Dodgers and Mets, that Bauer would prefer Southern California roots and the Dodgers near certain championship contention and modern pitching program, whatever that means. The Mets had offered a 3-year, $105 million pact that could be worth $80 million if Bauer opted out after 2 years. But they were worried that even if they were first in overall money, they were second in where Bauer desired to be. Plus, the Mets were concerned that he might not prefer New York in particular. The Dodgers deal that wound up agreeing to was for 3 years at $102 million, with $85 million available, and they did take more money over the first 2 years, though possibly with deferrals that would lower the current day value. A source said that Mets president Sandy Alderson, who has been involved with 3 organizations over the past 4 decades, but he never proceeded to this extent of negotiations and not finalized the deal. Both Fedorov and Alderson said they would not comment on the details of the negotiation. Well, we all know that. Bauer's a jerk. He's a dick. I mean, we're going to find out about stuff about him now. Well, what the issue was about, because obviously the Mets are ticked off about what happened here. This guy is a jerk. Hello, Mets Nick's Bori. How you doing? Mets talk with Hayden. Would you rather Lucchesi or Yamamoto as our 5th starter? Lucchesi's been there. He's pitched well in the big leagues. Yamamoto hasn't. And he's left-handed. But they're gonna be pretty active. It seems to be a consensus that the Mets are gonna be very active this week. That they have other deals on the table and they're ready to go. It might be Bradley Jr. You're probably going to hear about Odorizzi a lot. You're going to hear about Jake Arrieta. One thing that I heard, which was it came across this source that we've all been using, all the Mets YouTubers, like Mofo has been using, Mets fan only has been using, has been this thing with this one account saying that the Mets are looking to get a third baseman. Now, I think the next move they're going to do is they're going to get another starter in here, another starting pitcher in here. Either be Arrieta or probably more likely Odorizzi. Because Odorizzi, they talked about it early on, but they were so deep with this thing with Bauer. He's just as good as Bauer, and they're not going to get all this nonsense drama from Quinn Street. Apparently, Mets are out of the race for Odorizzi. All right, you got to you're going to tell me where you heard that. You haven't talked to him, Now, please like this video if you haven't already. And please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Wow, this is some bomb burner of a game. 7-3 in the second quarter. Right? Where would you rather be? Here or watching that game? But, so, one of the things I've heard is that, read on Twitter, was that Mets are looking for a third baseman. You could figure it out. Hearing it's a trade. You could really 3 names you would think that would fit that bill. Suarez of the Reds, Chris Bryant of the Cubs, and Jose Ramirez. Now, wouldn't it be something if the Mets made that trade after I made a prediction that they would? We're going to see. If they get one of these third basemen, that would be great. Uh-oh. Brady just coughed it up. I think Brady did. No, I don't think he did. Yep. Brady coughed the ball up. That's not good. Oh, boy. Well, you never want to have, turnovers in these football games. Turnovers is what kills a team. Both ways, boy, oh, boy. Brady coughed it up. Not good. So, the names. We all know all these third basemen. Oh, it was a flag, yeah, of course. We have all these third basemen that are out there on the market, supposedly. Their names have been out there. Now that Arenado's been traded, we have guys like, and it was funny. I know I go through these side topics. It's funny. I was driving yesterday. I was listening to the guy on the radio. I don't know who he was, but he was complaining about Arenado. And he said, well, the Mets, they should have gotten Arenado, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Arenado has a 6-year deal of $200 million. He has a year to get out of the first year of the contract. And then the Cardinals gave him 2 more years. So why would any team want to do that? He's not a perfect fit for the Mets. He's a perfect fit for the Cardinals. It's weird. It's such a, the same thing they do on the fan all the time. On the fan. But we have these 3 names, which is Chris Bryant, which that is probably the most realistic because the trade I proposed was a Familia, J.D. Davis, and a backup catcher. You go on the websites of all these teams. You Google a name of a team. We'll use a name. Say the Pirates. Pittsburgh Pirates needs. And they'll show you the actual page, and you can go on there. And you'll see it. You'll see all the needs. That's how I came up with the first Indians trade, the trade for Francisco Lindor. I just went on their page. And that's written by one of the beat reporters. And, and that's how I came up with that trade. And that's any way you can come up with a trade. That's how I came up with the Cubs trade. Seeing what their needs are. So they need a backup catcher. They need an impact bat. Need a little bullpen help. I thought that was pretty good. And really the money, they take some money back with Familia, but really the Mets take a lot. And maybe the Mets get some money back. You never know. So I thought that was a pretty good trade. In my view. And, some people got annoyed by the title of the video. I don't care. I don't really care. But that's the kind of stuff you can see. But you can come up with a trade any way you want. And that trade, the Chris Bryant trade, is a lot easier to make because you get rid of a bad contract. You're going to have to trade Davis at some point because Davis doesn't have a position and the DH isn't in the National League yet. And, and you can find a backup catcher anywhere. Let's have 3 backup catchers here. They could always bring in somebody else. They could always re-sign Rene Rivera, whomever, at this point. Touchdown. Tampa Bay. They got the flag on their side and they got a touchdown. 13-3. This game be a blowout. Anyway. But then we have the second trade possibility. That's Jose Ramirez. I didn't remember putting that trade. Let's take a look. Because that's a pretty good idea I had too. Let's see. Where is it? Now, please like this video as I go searching for the trade that I wrote down on my sheet. It's a cheat sheet. All right, here we go. Now, people got very annoyed. Very annoyed by this trade. From Brenman. Wait, who is our third MLB catcher? We have Nito, we have Ali Sanchez, and we have Patrick Mazeika, who's a left-handed bat. And I think Patrick had won the batting title. I think it was Nito. It was one of them that won the batting title down in Port St. Louis. I think it was Nito. But this trade I came up with for Jose Ramirez. Now, from what I heard, since this trade, Ramirez isn't going anywhere from Cleveland. But this was the trade I came up with. Now he's got about $32 million coming back to him. The Mets would receive, the Indians would receive another $2 million to offset the cost of Jeurys Familia for next year. So Familia would go back because they need bullpen help. They need a little outfield help. I'd send them Brandon Nimmo. I'd send them J.D. Davis because the Mets don't have any room for J.D. Davis, seeing as how he is now. Ramirez now the third baseman on this team. Brett Batty would be going into this deal because Brett Batty doesn't have a position because he's a third baseman. He's the Mets' third best prospect. He's 21 years old. He's an older prospect. He was drafted when he was 19 and a half years old from high school. And then there's another player who I mentioned in the previous trade proposal that I had of Francisco Lindor was Carlos Cortez, who's just absolutely killing the Australian Baseball League. And he's the 17th best prospect in the Mets organization from MLB.com. And people thought that I may have given up too much, maybe with Nimmo. But this was a fair enough trade for a guy that's had 3 finishes. 3 guys a guy that finished 3 times in the top 3 in the MVP voting, and Ramirez. Let's talk with Hayden. Juan Lagares signed a minor league deal with the Angels. Yes, he really was hitting crazy down in the guess the Caribbean League, I guess. So you figure he was going to sign some kind of deal with somebody. It's good to see him. He's a good kid. From Brendan Sanchez isn't MLB ready. Well, they played him. He's not really a big prospect, but he is a backup. He'll be like a perpetual backup. How long he stays in the major leagues, who knows? But, that's kind of what the Indians are needing, these little things. The Cubs. Mets SZN. Hayden, I'm a Denver fan. Also, Denver. From Robert. Hey, what third baseman would you like on the Mets? I had my choice. And it was a reasonable contract. I would have liked to have Arenado here, quite frankly. I know. It's I think Arenado would have been the guy I would have liked, but the money was just too much. It was just too much for the Mets. If you think about it, the money that they were offering Trevor Bauer was ridiculous. The money that he got from the here we go, Chris. There you go. Trade for Wilmer. I don't think they need to trade for Wilmer, do they? Where is Wilmer? I don't even know. What team is Wilmer on? Does he have a team? Is he with the Giants? But that's really who I would have liked to have seen. I would have liked to have seen Arenado. But Arenado's it's just too many years. If he had a 3-year contract, Wilmer's with San Francisco. Okay. Well, Brendan, he's asking me who would I have liked to have seen. That's the guy I would have liked to have seen was Arenado. Brendan 711 asks, with Arenado off the board, what third baseman would you want? Well, let's see. You have Ramirez, who he's a great player, but he might be the ugliest player in baseball right now. He might have taken over that role of Willie McGee. He's a great player right now. Chris Bryant is good, but Chris probably needs a change of scenery. Who's the other player I mentioned? I totally forgot. Oh, Justin Turner. Justin Turner is the other third baseman. But Justin, I wouldn't give him more than 2 years. I'm just going through this to the top of my head. Really, that you got to be careful because he's 36 years old. Who knows how much he has left? Now, please like this video if you haven't already. From the Morphman, I have a feeling we're getting a player or two we didn't expect. Maybe be a gold mine this week coming up. I'm trying to hold hope. Or even if they brought in like Babe Ruth, SNY and WFM. So they'll talk about it for a couple of days and complain the next week they didn't do anything. I mean, the Mets have been very active, and I think it's, as just as a fan, I'm pretty reasonable. I'm pretty, I'm very much into the whole process. I'm not into, well, you get a big player, automatically you're a great team. It doesn't necessarily work that way. The Angels have a great player, and they stink. Think about that. Just think about that for a second. So just because you bring in a great player doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a great team. You've seen it with the Angels. They have the greatest player on the planet, and they can never win. And never win. Mets SCN. What are some of the teams that are borderline that have pieces the Mets can get? I don't know what that means. It's gonna take a lot to get Suarez. It's gonna take a lot to get Ramirez. Chris Bryant seems to be the most realistic thing. Abreu. Did you read the reports of Bauer agreeing to the Mets contract without signing the contract? They are calling it being left at the altar. Sandy has no comment. Oh, I read the article from the New York Post a little bit. From Matthew Landau, I heard something about Shane Bieber. Is there a chance we can get him? Well, let's take a look at his money. I say, lamentably, no. I do not see it. Quite frankly, let me look on my trusty handheld device. And let's take a look at Shane. Shall we? Shane Bieber. The 2020 Cy Young Award winner. He's pitched in the big leagues 3 years. He's 34-14. He's not going anywhere. Where's the story coming from with him? He's not a free agent until 2025. Where is this story coming from about Shane Bieber? He is not going anywhere. He's the ace of the Cleveland staff. Cleveland is not breaking the team apart. Okay? They're not doing a fire sale. They just traded Lindor because they weren't signing him to a contract. Shane Bieber's not going anywhere. He's pitching the big leagues 3 years. 11-5. Let's go do this. 11-5, 15-8, 8-1. He's not going a damn place. He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. 20 games over 500. It's not after 3 seasons. He's not going anywhere. He's not a free agent until 25. Matthew Landau, some guy on YouTube made a video about him. I guess he didn't know what he was talking about. Well, obviously not. I don't make that up. I know it wasn't me. Now, Bob Nightingale says that, that he's not getting traded. He's probably going to get traded, but he hasn't said anything. Yeah, I think that Bryant is the guy, I think. If there's going to be a trade for a third baseman or a move for a third baseman, it'll be Bryant because they won't have to give up a lot. They'll give up $1 million on Davis and then figure out what else the Cubs would want. They're not getting Alvarez, that's for sure. Let's see. Now, please like this video. And please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Mets fans only. Bob Nightingale apologized. Apologize for what? You don't apologize. It's his job. Sometimes you make a mistake. Sometimes Michael, Bryant will never again perform like his first 2 years. No, we'll see. But I think in a contract year, he would be really good. And I think in like a 2-month span at the end of his contract, I think he would play well. I think he needs a bit of a change of scenery, quite frankly. there's some players that need to leave a certain place just so they can have like a revival to their career. Bryant could be one of these guys. I think he could be one of those guys. From William, what's up, Huck? Can the Mets hire Sammy the Bull Gravano as a bookie consultant? There's no gambling in baseball. There's no gambling in baseball. From Mets SCN, I heard Bauer even text reporters that he was going to the Mets. What an asshole if he did that. That's not professional. From Michael, come on, Hut. He can't hit a breaking ball. Yeah, but here's the thing. He's got an MVP on his belt. He's got Rookie of the Year. He's been in big games. You cannot mitigate all that stuff. And you get him in a contract run. I'm not saying they hold on to him. You don't hold on to him. But he can do well. I think he can have a good year with any team. That's why I don't think any give up a lot for him, quite frankly. Mets fans only. A lot of talk on my stream on bringing back Delgado. His hip should be healed by now. What a great player Carlos Delgado was. What a great bat and great hitter. And the guy never got a sniff of the Hall of Fame. And we saw him at the end of his career. We didn't see him in Toronto. And it's a shame that he did not get into the Hall of Fame. That he didn't even get a lot of votes. That's terrible. And he played great in 2006 when they got to postseason. If the Mets had won that series, he was probably going to win the MVP. And he was on deck behind Carlos Beltran. Bremen, 7-11. Nightingale offered fake news. Why would that not require an apology? Well, because the fake news doesn't normally do that. I'm a little shocked they did that. From Michael, I'd rather sign Justin Turner 2 years. I would stay away from Justin Turner. Because he's always hurt. And you get Bryant for a year. You get the most out of him for a year. That's why, you don't have to give him a 2-year contract. You just have him for the year. And maybe the Cubs give you a little money back. You never know. I think he's a better option, quite frankly, and he's younger. Let me take a look at Bryant, if you don't mind. And, the guy is batted cleanup on a championship team. You can't, just sort of, whatever. The guy's 29 years old. He's in the middle of his prime. In the middle of his prime. 3-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, MVP. This is the kind of guy you want to have on your team. And he got off the bad start last year. 2 years ago in 2019, he hit 31 home runs and 77 RBIs. OPS of 903. A career 380. A career 380 on base percentage. A career 280 on batting average. Slugging percentage of 508. For 1 year, it's great. Mets fans only. Ding, 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 ding. He sent me a super sticker, whatever that means. That's something new. I got to check this out on my phone. Thank you, Mets fans only. Mofo. Thank you, Mofo. I appreciate it. Poop. That ain't right. That's not nice. That's not nice, Mofo. Angel Sagato. Sign Turner for 2 years and trade for Castillo. All right. Angel, what are you going to trade for Castillo? He's the best pitcher on that team. He's not making any money. From James Beck, Mets trade King Kong for Godzilla. That did happen. That did happen one time. That did happen. That's a damn sure. Yeah, that did happen. Now, please like this video if you haven't already. Now, I want to remind you before I forget. On Wednesday, I will have WFAN WSNY, WOR personality, radio personality, Pete McCarthy here. And Pete will talk about the Mets. It's going to be great. It's going to be on Wednesday, 10 a.m. So you need to subscribe to the channel. You need to subscribe to the channel so you can watch this interview I'm going to conduct with him. I'm going to do a great interview with him, and I'm very excited about having him on, quite frankly. And the show's going to start right away. As soon as he comes on, we're going to get right into it. I'll ask him a little bit about Mickey Callaway. I'll ask him about Steve Cohen. And all the things we talk about here. So you want to come by and you want to subscribe to watch that interview, and it's going to be great. It's going to be really good. You're going to be very, very pleasantly surprised and very happy to see it. You know, and it's going to be good. You're going to be very happy with the interview, and I do a really good job on my interviews, specifically on the other channel. And hopefully you subscribe and get ready to watch it, because it's going to come on right at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in New York City. So I'm not going to play any music. I'll do a little intro. I'll start asking him questions. We'll talk back and forth. It'll be very, very conversational. It won't be sort of this, I ask a question, he gives an answer. It's not going to be like that. Trust me. Yeah, 47 people in here. Yes, hit the like button and subscribe. I'm the only game in town. We're gonna maybe let me tell you something. We're gonna get a whole bunch of people here in a couple of minutes, because this game's going into halftime, and you want to hold on to your hats. It's another 55 seconds in the quarter. I mean, we're gonna jump right into the interview. I'm jumping right into the interview, feet first. Now, usually I play the music. I give people a chance to come into the live stream, but we're going to jump into it very quickly. From James Beck, I hope they trade for Chapman. May take a bit, but prefer him. Well, everybody prefers him. That's not happening. Trust me on that one. That's not happening. Sorry. Got to be realistic. You can't have all-stars on every position. It doesn't happen. Got to have guys that fit into your team. You know. I've been saying it. You can't you can't have, not all the teams. From Mets Nick's boy, did you ever skadoosh an interviewee? That's an interesting point. There was one guy who was a little inebriated during my interview with him, and he was banned. He was banned after that. And I did kind of block him on Twitter and everything. So I guess you could say he was the one. He was the one. I would point out that I did invite other people on, and they did that to me. But even though I was helping them out with with their books and stuff. The Morphman, can you imagine skadooshing Steve Summers off the show? And I got sent off to the Phantom Zone, where they sent General Zod and all the comic skaters. James Beck, Chapman's stats are the same as Bryant. So if you are calling for Bryant, aren't you calling for all-stars at every position? Here's the thing about Bryant. You don't have to give up a lot to get him. All right? And that is a weakness on this team is their base. It's a different story. Don't go down that road. All right? They have a weakness. They have a bit of an opening at third. That is to me, something that should be looked at. Ernie the Boss, someone got to interview Cliff Floyd yesterday. Who interviewed Cliff Floyd? Who interviewed Cliff Floyd? Larry Hernandez. What is your other channel at the baseball? My other channel is the Comic Book Hut, where it's complete total insanity. I mean, really. Complete total insanity on that side. I should put the link into the chat. I think I put the link into the chat. So you want to see that channel doesn't move anywhere, and it hasn't moved there for like 8 months. I got to 1,000 and basically stay there at 1,000 because I do whatever I want there. I don't stick to one subject. If you're going to do a YouTube channel, you got to stick to one subject. And YouTube doesn't like it when you bounce around with different subjects. And here's the link to the comic book hut. Please subscribe to that. Ernie LaBarre, I guess you're saying that one of the local New York YouTube guys? Interesting. Which one? Well, I'm a local guy. Interesting. I'm sure it wasn't a good interview. It was probably boring. You know, I mean, I don't go goofy on with the interviews, by the way. I do very serious interviews. Let's see what's going on here. So please like this video. You'll find some interesting tweets. This is about Bradley Jr. The Mets are still kind of talking to him. This is from Mike Puma. Albert Almora's addition doesn't necessarily mean the Mets are out of Jackie Bradley Jr., who's receiving interest from about a half a dozen teams. Half a dozen teams. Hold on, I'm sorry. I jumped around. What the hell am I doing? The Mets have been aggressive on Bradley. At the very least, Almora gives the Mets protection in the outfield, which is what he is. He didn't bring a flash to the interview. He's just, he's doing something before the interview. They brought in Almora to be a little bit of insurance. And he is a guy that is a backup, And there's nothing wrong with the Mets having done this. And a lot of people, I did a video on him earlier this afternoon. And a lot of people complaining, saying this is the typical thing that Sandy would do. But the thing is, they needed some help in that outfield. Even if they brought in a guy, whoever it was, either be Springer or they were going to need another guy like him. It wasn't a situation. Here's one guy. He says, another blockbuster sign from Alderson. And people's frustrations, but Mets have had a very successful season, off-season. And you have to sort of take it bit by bit, piece by piece. And this is something that they didn't have in the last year or so, is quality players that are that players. And this guy's played in the World Series. He's been in the postseason. He's got experience, and you can't underscore that. That's the one thing the Mets have done a very good job, is bringing guys that are going to help them. Like I said, the 2 years that Brody was here, he traded 21 different prospects from the farm system, and a lot of the guys that got called up, were position players, and he didn't trade them. Ray Fernandez, what is your opinion of trading with Cleveland for Beaver? A true side? That's not happening. Don't even ask that. That's not happening. Bieber's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. From Matthew Landau, another touchdown by the Buccaneers. This is a blowout. This game's over. Would you say that Lindor is better than any of the free agents this offseason? That's a good question, Matthew. Well, he's younger than LeMahieu. He's a better defensive player, if that's possible, than LeMahieu at his position. He's younger than Realmuto. A big shortstop can really help your team a lot more than a big catcher. He's a better defensive player at his position than Realmuto is. Realmuto has not been on winning teams. Lindor has been to the World Series. He's been to the postseason. He's got a lot of hardware. Now with Springer, he's got just as much power as Springer. He's a better defensive player than Springer. I would say he's probably better than those guys. I mean, really, if you want to look at it, the shortstops, he's up there probably with I can't believe they made Trevor Story the best shortstop in baseball. I couldn't believe that. I think that Corey Seager's a better player than him, in my view. I mean, really, if you look at it, it's Corey Seager, Lindor, and then the rest of the other shortstops after that. Correa can't stay healthy. Story is in Colorado, where you kind of sort of you give him lesser of the benefit of the doubt. It's now 21-3, 21-6, Tampa Bay. It's a blowout. Brady never blows these kind of games. And Andy Reid with his Chiefs mask on. The Moth fans, I don't know if I believe in the Chiefs. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Somebody pointed their fist up, but oh my God. Don't get in the face of Tom Brady. What's the matter with this guy? He's pointing at him. What's the matter with that guy? Who's number 32 on the Chiefs? You get in the face of Tom Brady. From Larry Hernandez, we need a starting center field to help Smith in the left field. Well, here's the thing. They brought in Amaro to help him. He'll be in there for late defense. Because what they'll do is they'll move Nemo over to left, and they'll put Amaro into center field late in the game. Nemo's a good player. He's a good offensive player. I always liked Nemo. Yeah, I don't know. From Todd Licata, Realmuto has never caught a good pitching staff. No, he hasn't. And he was never the best player on his team when the Marlins had all that talent down there. Stanton was better than him. Ozuna was better than him. Yelich was better than him. D. Gordon was better than him. Jose Fernandez was better than him. He was like the 5th or 6th player on that team, if that. And he's not, in my view, he's not a winning player. And he went to the Phillies. He hasn't played well with the Phillies. I mean, he's played okay. The Mets lost their chance to get him. They should have gotten him 2 years ago. That would have been a better time to get him than now. He's at that point. You got to be careful now with the kind of money you give him. Morrow's a good defensive player. And that's why they brought him in here. Who's this 32? Is he crazy? Why are you getting in the face of Brady? Jack Michael Brandel. You're not watching the Super Bowl? Well, I'm watching it. I just don't have the sound on. But I'm talking to you. Why aren't you watching it? Now that we're at halftime, we're going to get a bunch of people in here. I'm so happy. Honey Badger, that's the guy's name? Honey Badger? What's his real name? But what's his... Honey Badger can't be his real name, is it? Isn't that a TV show, a reality show? Why would you get in his face? That's the last guy you get into the face of. He's gonna shove that ball down their throats now. That's the one guy you don't upset. That's what they call him. Honey Badger? Give me a break. Tyrone Matthew, that's his name. Tyrone Matthew, and his nickname's Honey Badger. He got right. Oh, Brady got in his face. You don't get in the Brady's face. Even if he comes at you, you don't do that. He's going to shove that ball up his ass. The Flays are not. I understand that he's good, but he's not Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback, I guess, of all time. But how does Bill Belichick feel these days? Seeing that he lost his Brady, and Brady basically picked the team and said, you know what? I don't want to play up in this cold weather. Let me go play down in Florida where I don't have to worry about the virus. And just say, you know what? Hey, guys, you want to go? It basically said this to Tampa Bay. You want to go to the Super Bowl? It's like, okay, let's go. Mets Nick's boring. Chief defense needs to get his face like the Giants did, and the Honey Badger kid is a missile on defense. Well, they need to do a little bit more than get in his face, screaming at him. Because if he's destroying that defense, they got no chance. They got no chance. And he's already up by 2 touchdowns. Good luck. I'd heard that the Chiefs' defense wasn't very good, by the way. Yeah. So please like this video if you haven't already. And subscribe to the Baseball Hut. We're going to go for a little bit. Again, I'll be back again tomorrow doing a live stream. Now, this is an unusual live stream because you don't normally see baseball live streams taking place during the Super Bowl. But I'm just that kind of guy. I'm very different. I'm different, all right. Randy Williams, F. Brady. Okay. I guess he's a Chiefs fan. That's not nice to say about Brady. What did he do to you? I would point out I'm a Giants fan, so the Giants have beat him twice. Now, please like that. Now, Randy, please like this video if you haven't already. I'm just saying, man. You know, you have Brady. You know, he's won all these championships. Don't get in his face. You know, don't get in his face. It's not a good idea to do that. Now he's just trying to win. He's just trying to win. That's all he's trying to do. Fire all Randy Williams. Fire Alderson. Have you had a couple of drinks, Randy? They're not firing him for what? You brought in one of the best players in baseball in here. From the Wolfman, from the Mets Nick's Bory, 7 out of 10 Super Bowls, the greatest. Absolutely. From Harbor Brayu, Giants fan here. We own Brady. It's from William. When will your new The Mafia Chronicles YouTube channel start? I don't know what you're talking about. That's not happening. From Ronald, this has been a very good offseason. We have to trust that Sandy has been around long enough and knows more on what the needs and availabilities of the players we need than the emotional fans. Exactly. From James Beck, last person to get in Brady's face like that was Sherman. It didn't end well for him. From Randy Williams, Montana is the greatest. Well, he is one of the greats. But Brady surpassed him. Up until that, it was Unitas. Or Bart Starr were the greatest. Well, I guess Unitas. But Mets fans only. Fire Cone. Let's bring in A-Rod. He would have gotten power. Sure he would have. From Todd Licata. Randy's very, very negative. We don't like negativity here. Randy Williams. Alderson going to let Lindor and Ford walk. They're going to both walk? How's that going to happen? That's not going to go over well. That's not going to happen. He must be a Yankee fan. I think he's a Yankee fan. Mets Nick's Bory. William, there's a kid on YouTube that drives around to the places where alleged hits happen. I'm not doing that. I am not doing that. I'm not 72 years old. What's wrong with you? From James Beck, Sandy drafted half this team. He knows them much better than we do. He drafted most of them. More than half. Let's see how many likes we got in the chat. 19 likes. We get a few more likes. We get one more. I appreciate you coming by and watching the live stream. From Randy Williams. Do I have to give you a history lesson, Randy? Don't make me have to do that. Let's go through the history lesson of Samuel Olsen. His teams have been to 4 World Series. 3 with the A's and 1 with the Mets. If you don't trust them, you don't have to follow the team. You don't have to be a Mets fan. You can do what Boomer Esiason says and not follow the team. Simple as that. No one's telling you to watch. No one's telling you to watch my videos. No one's telling you to listen to the radio. You don't have to follow along. If you don't trust Sandy, then you can move on. Randy Williams, Bauer and Springer played Alderson. They took more money from other teams. That's not pulling anybody. They took as much money as they would get. That's not being played. Bangkok baseball. Hut, aren't you watching the Super Bowl? I am, but I'm here. I want to do this instead. Randy Williams. I'm a big Mets fan. I can critique. That's complaining. It's the difference between critique and complaining. Hello, Danny Choi. How you doing, Danny? How you be? What do you say? Now, please like this video. You haven't already. And subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Appreciate you all coming by. So I would mention the commercials, but some of the earnings are getting a little snippy with me about talking about the commercials. Well, what do you think they do, Randy? I mean, what do you think they do? Wouldn't you do the same thing? I mean, really, you're acting like, that he doesn't know what he's doing. This is how the game is played. This is how it works. You would do the same thing, wouldn't you? Absolutely. Complaining, you would do the exact same thing, but you wouldn't criticize. Anybody in your family would do the same thing, and you wouldn't criticize them. From Bangkok, what do you think of the ALMORA sign? Well, he's just a backup. He's a fourth outfielder. They could have brought anybody in. That's an easy sign for them, I didn't do any of those things. Stop saying that. Wouldn't hurt a fly. Yeah, I read that article about Alderson. He thought that he had to deal with Bauer. But Bauer's a jerk. That's just sort of proves my point that he was a jerk. He was a jerk this whole time. Randy Williams, so you tell me they're going to win the World Series as presently constructed? I think they can. I think they can. They won 86 games 2 years ago. Getting to the postseason is a crapshoot when you have all these rounds. I think they can. But it all depends on the closer. That's the biggest problem. These other players are not going to help them down the line. And the way you think they're not going to be like this magic wand is going to be played and they're going to win. They don't have that. They're not going to win. It's as simple as that. The guy that's here has to perform, and that's Edwin Diaz. If you think otherwise, then you don't know what you're watching. Okay? It's not these other guys they didn't bring in. It's the guy they have here. They should have made postseason 2 years ago. But because of Edwin Diaz's failure as a closer, they didn't win. They were so far behind the 8 ball when it got to the 4th of July that they had a mad dash and they ran out of games. And that's the honest truth. You want to know what the truth is? It has nothing to do with the guys they bring in now. It's Edwin Diaz. If he doesn't close the games out and shuts down the games, they're not going to win. It's as simple as that. All right. From Brian, what's good, Hud? Everything's good. Everything's good here. Although I'm getting irritated about Edwin Diaz. Because Edwin Diaz is the biggest reason why this team had failed so miserably in 2019. They should have won 90 games that year. Mofo. Look, I'm not into this thing with Callaway. But the point is with Diaz. Diaz was a problem because he just couldn't adjust here. They said that he was big in the nightlife. There wasn't any nightlife last year. There was no fans in the stands last year. Randy Williams, Bryant, and that's what you want, Bradley? Bryant and Bradley Jr.? Well, they have the money for it. Then I will say they do have the money for it. They didn't spend that much money on ALMORA. But if you give $20 million, which is what Brian has for next year, and maybe you give about 15 to 20 to Bradley Jr., you could do it and then still get another reliever in here, a starter. They could do that. You know, it's not. It's I could see them doing that. You know, but they're going to be busy this week. That's what we're hearing. You know, that they're going to sign some other guys coming up. They need to get another starter in here. That's got to be the next. I said last night that the next move for them would be a position player. You know, and they got that today. And then the next move. Sorry about that. Lost my connection. As always. As always. Lost my connection for a second. I use my phone as my internet connection, and the phone shut off. I don't know how that happened. Amaro's going to be a guy that can play all the positions late in the game. He's going to be a guy that's going to play late in the defense. He's going to pinch run. You got to have guys like that. You can't just have all-stars, like I said, every position. It's just impossible. But you can bring in guys late, on a walk year to bring them in. They need a lot of depth. This was a big problem with this team last year, was they didn't have enough depth, especially the pitching staff. And they've done a really good job with that. You guys wanted all the big names, and the media pumped it all up. They tried to get guys. They didn't want to come here. Do you really want Bauer here if he doesn't want to be here? I'm here anyway. You see me breaking, hitting my head up against the wall like some YouTubers. Mofo. I mean, I didn't want to see that. I didn't want to see him here. And I want to see this team play. I mean, you talk about, a successful offseason. I'm not too concerned. The Mets have had a lot of offseason where they won the offseason. I want to win the season. And here's the thing. This is a young team. We have to not forget this. This Met team is a young team. Still. Alonso's young. The team is young. The pitching staff's a little bit older. But the team is a young team for the most part. This team needs to play. We need to see what they're good at doing, what they're not good at doing. They can go out on the field. They might not hit with men on base. That's what happened last year. 3 things happened last year. 1, they didn't play good defense. 2, they didn't hit with men on base. And 3, which is a weird thing sometimes. It happens from year to year. And the third thing is they had no depth in the pitching to where when they lost Syndergaard and Stroman, they had nobody there to pitch for them. If you have no depth in your starting pitching, you're not going to be able to win. It's as simple as that. From Todd Lecott, Chris Collins saying the Mets dodged the bullet. They did. Bauer's nuts. He's crazy. He is a nut job. He is nuts. Mets got lucky in that situation. They really did. Yeah, they dodged a bullet with him because he is nuts. Randy Williams, third base, second base, and center. Well, the second baseman on this team is Jeff McNeil. Okay, I think you forgot about Jeff McNeil He was voted the second best second baseman in the National League. He's a 300 hitter. He's not going anywhere. He's a great player. And they have a center fielder, but he's not a great center fielder. All right. They address the catching position. You just digging for stuff. Where's Jeff McNeil going to play? You forget. Everybody forgets about Jeff McNeil. Jeff McNeil is a great hitter, and he can play second. Oh, you forgot about Jeff McNeil. That's disrespectful. That's not nice. Matthew Landau, do you think McNeil's the best hitter on the Mets? Yes, he is. He's a better hitter than Conforto is, quite frankly. He's a better hitter. By a lot. He's a career 300 hitter. He's a 318 hitter. He's going to win a batting title. He's going to win a couple batting titles. He's got to stay on the field. I would rather play him at third and find production at second. That'd be my. Now that I think about it, I'd rather have him at third. Because then I don't have to worry about him being in the middle infield and getting hurt all the time. So part of the problem is there's no DH so far. But what I'm hearing is that they're trying to get the DH into the league. If they do that, the Mets will bring in Bradley Jr. They'll put him in center. They'll have Almora be his backup. They put Nimmo in left field. They have Almora be his backup. They put Smith at first, and they put Pete at DH. That's it. From Ernie Labarro, McNeil is a poor man's LeMahieu. No, Dom Smith is not an outfielder. But he's going to have to play the outfield if they don't have the DH. That's for sure. Now, if you look at this picture I have of the Mets, this is the current team. I have Jeff McNeil on here at the top. And Dom at the top and Pete at the top. The only reason I have Syndergaard on the bottom is, he's the rock, And then you have the new guy next to him. And then I have Conforto and Nimmo down there, too. Leon Helgrod. I think they're going to platoon Maddox Smith and Amora. Well, Maddox Smith is not on the Mets. Why would the Mets want to do that? They can just play Brandon Nimmo. He's a better player than Maddox Smith. Randy Williams, who's our closer? It's Diaz. But that, like I told you before, Randy, the biggest problem with the Mets is the bullpen, and the closer in particular. That should be the biggest concern for everybody that's going to watch my channel, is the closer. They have enough pitching to win. This offense as a group is excellent. It's a really good team. And their defense has improved. But if they don't get anything out of Diaz, they are screwed. And I'm not exaggerating it. I really believe that. And it's funny, I went into the live stream with the other guys from Mofo's channel last week. And I mentioned that to them. They got awfully quiet. I said to them, he's the biggest reason. He is the guy that concerns me the most. He's the guy I'm most interested in how he performs in spring training and how he does early in the season. Because if he doesn't get his head out of his ass, this team's not going to win. They're going to struggle to get to 86 wins like they did 2 years ago. Brian, I don't know why people are so high on Bradley Jr. He's a good player. Randy Williams, why hasn't Alderson addressed that yet? Or has he? Or he hasn't. He always has his own opinion, Randy. And he's the closer right now. From Robert, McNeil can play second, third, and outfield. I'd keep him out of the outfield. He got hurt last year or 2 years ago in the outfield. I'd keep him away from the outfield. Third base, second. He's a very good infielder. He's very good defensively. His reputation was that he was a bad defensive player. He's a good defensive player. I don't know what they were talking about. sometimes you got to have role players. You got to have guys that are going to be role players on the team. You can't like I said, I want to see where this team is when the season starts. When we get into 40 games into the season, 40 games into the season, Memorial Day, 4th of July, then we can really start talking about what kind of team this is. And I know what's going to happen. They're going to start doing the games, and you guys are going to come here and you're going to get upset about a performance by a player when, oh, he can't do it. Or Pete has a bad day. He struck out 4 times. You got to sit him. Baseball's not like that. For Matthew Landau, what do you rank the Mets in the major leagues right now? They're probably the 3rd or 4th best team in the National League. Yeah. And probably the 6th best team. And that's what they were saying. That's where I look at them at. From Randy Williams, what about the closer from the Brewers? I heard he was being shot. I'd stay away from him. Because he looks like, first of all, he looks like he's going to hurt his arm at some point. He's going to hurt that arm. And if they're willing to trade him, that means they're not too sold on him at this point. They might have gotten the most out of him by now. Or Matthew Landau, why do we not keep Cespedes for a bench bat? He's going to want to play every day, and he burned his bridges here. He's done. He is done. Nah, I'm keeping him on here. Are you kidding me? I'm keeping Cespedes here. Cespedes was a big part of this team 5, 6 years ago. He's a big part of this. I'm sorry. I'm keeping him on here. Sorry, Chris Goin. He's staying. They wouldn't have gotten to the World Series if it wasn't for his performance late in the season. I'm not worried about. Don't worry about Cano. Just worry about 2021, because you never know with Cano. You never know with Robinson Cano. He might stick it up to the ho-ho. It's at some point. From Brian, would you rather spend $10 million on a center fielder that's only good defensively? I don't think they spent $10 million on ALMORA. Probably $3 or $4 million of that. Mets next boys. Diaz will bounce back. Have faith, guys. Yeah, we'll see. Mets fans only yeah. Get ready to start trading away the team during slumps. I'm not doing that, mofo. I'm not doing that. People are gonna be complaining about people in here. If DeGrom gets off to a bad start, the people are gonna say, "Well, you're gonna trade him," and I'll be like, "Look, don't move him. Don't move him. He's not going anywhere." Or if somebody's playing third and not doing well, people are gonna be complaining about a Wilma that hit like a walk-off for the Giants. From Robert Simone, do you think they're done with the outfield? It's a good question. I think that next thing is going to be they need to get another starter in here. That's probably the next thing they're going to do. So that's the next thing. That's the next thing that they will be doing, is bringing in another starter. Which are probably, I don't know who's going to be, either ODORIZZI, Arrieta, maybe Rich Hill. We've heard of him. He's left-handed, by the way. Rich Hill's not a bad pitcher. He's actually a winning pitcher. He's pitched in big games. From Matthew Landau, Diaz can be the best closer in baseball at times, but he hasn't been with the Mets. It's been a major disappointment. That trade is a bust so far. Amaro, if they bring in Bradley Jr., Amaro and Bradley Jr. would be batting 8th in the lineup for this team. You don't need these guys to hit like 400 or 300. Just catch the ball, and whatever they get out of them is fine. From Bangkok Baseball, what's your opinion on Amaro? He's all right. He's a 4th or 5th outfielder. Now, the Mets are going to be fine. From Chris Goodwin, who's the better team, the Mets or the Yankees? Well, if the Yankees can stay healthy, the Yankees can't stay healthy. I don't know if they hired Ray Ramirez to be their personal trainer these days, but if they can't stay healthy, they're not going to win. They'll win a lot of games. They'll win 95 games easy, but they never built for the postseason. AJ Ayala, What's up, AJ? How you doing? What do you say? Just looking at some of these free agents, there's no like guy that's gonna like turn your whole team around. There's not like a guy. There's no difference maker. The only guy that was kind of close to a difference maker was George Springer. He's a guy that's gonna do well on a young team. The Blue Jays, as it turns out, is actually a pretty good fit for him. That's a very young team, a very young lineup, and they put him and they surround him. He's the centerpiece of that team. He wasn't going to be that here, and he wasn't going to be. It was just different here. I would have liked to have him. I wanted him here, but they looked at his value, and the value was about 125 million. He got 175 million. He's not going to turn that down. And at 31 years old, it's taking a chance. 2 years, 3 years from now, he's not going to be a center fielder. And at that point, what do you do with Conforto? The Mets decided they wanted Conforto over Springer. I wouldn't have done that. I would have brought Springer in. I was very surprised they made the trade for Lindor, quite frankly. Like, I thought the Mets were gonna bring in Springer. They would have left Jimenez at shortstop, and they would not have had to spend as much money. They're going to be spending a lot of money now on Lindor. They're going to be spending close to $300 million on him. They would have not had to spend that with Springer and with Conforto, but now they're going to have to spend a lot more money. That's the one thing I'm a little surprised about. Kid 28, Conforto better play than Springer. Well, no, because Springer has been an everyday player. He's not gotten hurt. But in their view, they think it's a better long-term investment. Younger. They probably feel that he has better years ahead of him than Springer does. And Chris Goodwin, Nightingale apologized to Mets fans today for raising their hopes with the Bauer mistake. Huh? I'm surprised the fake news guy did that. Surprised he did that. But he's probably getting a lot of hate. He's been getting a lot of complaints anyways. So I guess he kind of felt bad, I guess. Surprised they never apologize, these people. Never at all. Now, please like this video if you haven't already. From the Mothman, so mock trade for Bryant, it was J.D. Davis, Ryan Mauricio, and Robert Dominguez. I mean, they could trade Ronnie. I mean, they don't really need him now, considering they have Lindor. But then it puts very, very short in the middle infield. This was a team that had a lot of talent in the middle infield, and after trading Jimenez and Rosario, they don't have a lot now. There's just Mauricio. That's an interesting trade. That's not a bad idea. But the problem with that is you're going to have him for a year. So why are you giving him Mauricio when you could probably play him third next year? In the Morph, I would aim high on giving up Ronnie Mauricio. Teams want him. He's not just. I'm not saying he's not throwing, but you can't be like you can't continue to just people around. You can't just kick people out of here and trade them. It's going to really hurt your farm system. And he can play third in the future. They said that he's going to be a third baseman. In a lot of ways they compare him to Alfonso Soriano, who's like a switch hitter. But Soriano wasn't a switch hitter, but that's what they call Mauricio. That he's similar to Soriano. Yeah, so on Wednesday, I just want to remind you again. On Wednesday, I'll have Pete McCarthy here of SNY fame, WFAN, WOR. And we're going to talk about the Mets and everything that's going on with the team. I'll ask him what he thinks about the new ownership, what he thinks about the old ownership. I'll ask him what he thinks about Sandy coming back. What does he expect this team to do? And we're going to have a good time with him on Wednesday. He'll come on at 10 a.m. Now, usually when I do my live streams, I usually give you a couple minutes to come in, a minute or two to come in, or 3 or whatever. But this interview, we're going to start up right away. I'll do an intro. I might give you 20 seconds. Then I'll do my intro for him, and then we'll get into it, and we'll talk about the team. I've never talked to him other than on Twitter. So to be him voice to face and face to voice, show your face, it will be fun. And I don't take shots at anybody. I conduct very, very professional interviews, and I think you'll enjoy it. It'll be very informative. You'll really like it. And maybe we'll get to know Pete a little bit. Yeah, Pete's a very, very talented broadcaster. From Bangkok Baseball, how did I want Ramirez? What do we give? Got to give Cleveland again. All right. I don't know if you saw this video I did on Jose Ramirez. This is the idea I have for him. Okay. Now, you would have to give up. Now, I did this based off of the MLB.com needs that the Cleveland Indians have. So you can check it out. Just put Indians needs, or Cleveland Indians needs, and that'll come up. They need outfield help. So I said, well, why don't they give them in a trade Brandon Nimmo? And then they need bullpen help. And Jeurys Familia is obviously a piece that they could give them. And I would also send them $2 million, I think, to offset the contract for the 1 year with Ramirez. J.D. Davis, because they need a big bat. Brett Batty, who's the number 3 Mets prospect, he will not have a place to play here because he can't play first. He's the first baseman, third baseman. He can't play first with Pete and Smith there, and he can't play third if they make this trip for Ramirez. And he's 21 years old, and he's getting up there in age in terms of as a prospect. Then I would also give them Carlos Cortez, who I mentioned in the other trade for Lindor, and he's the 17th best prospect, and he's tearing up the Australian baseball. I don't think Smith's not going anywhere. Brian, I feel like Smith would have to be involved in a Ramirez. I don't think Smith's going anywhere. I don't think Sandy would move him right now. You can't move him right now. From the Mothman, they are saying they want Ramirez now. Fix this now. Stream with me now. I don't think that's happening. I don't think that trade's happening. I'd be very surprised. Bangkok Baseball, Smith and Davis. That's a lot. Especially for guys that are starting their arbitration. Now, please like this video. And subscribe to the Baseball Hut. If you are watching this on replay and you're watching the game and you're coming in here and say, what is going on here? What's with this guy? Well, I figured I'm the only game in town. All the other YouTubers that are Mets fans, they're all watching the game. And I thought, well, why don't I do the live stream and just talk to my subscribers? And that's what we're doing here. That's what we're doing here. From Brian, I want a Suarez great trade. It makes the most sense. They have years on the contract left, too. But here's the thing. Oh, my God. Wayne's World. Wayne and Garth, they look like they're 60 years old. They're still in their mother's basement? What the hell's going on? What the hell's going on here? Dana Carvey looks like he's 70 years old with this wig on. My God. Party on. They've been partying on too long. Man. What was they thinking? They're saying, oh. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Well, Sonny Gray pitched here with the Yankees. He pitched terrible. He's not going anywhere. I wouldn't touch him. You know, he'll probably get moved, but he would not be a good fit here. I don't see them doing that. And Suarez, I don't think the Reds are making, I don't think they're making any more moves. I don't think they're trading any more pieces out there. Because they probably think they could probably win that division. They probably could. The big team now is the Cardinals out there in the Central. That same, I don't know what they talked about, but holy crap. Wayne and Garth. Party on, Wayne. Party on, Garth. That was like 30 years ago. They're still partying in his mother's basement. They should be doing partying in the living room with the kids in the basement complaining on their phones. From Chris Goodwin, as good as Dom Smith is, he doesn't fit the team because Alonso. So deal Smith or maybe straight up. I don't know. I really don't want to trade. I really don't want to trade some of these guys, to be honest with you. Dom or Alonso, I like to see them play a little bit more. I want to see Dom play a full season. He's not played a full season in the major leagues. He's had to do with all these. He had a bad injury in 2019 with his foot. From the Mothman, I think Sandy and Bauer had a very confused, infuriating negotiation. Something tells me Sandy is ticked off. He probably is. I wouldn't blame him for being ticked off. Well, I don't know exactly everything that happened with Sonny Gray with the Yankees. I know he didn't pitch well here. That I couldn't tell you. That I couldn't tell you about what that was all about. Swing. That is like pining for Garth's like mother. She's got to be like 75 years old, for God's sake. Think about that for a minute. Wayne pining over her. Just think about that for a second. Ugh. Ugh. From Chris going, damn, Hut, you're giving up a lot for me. Yeah, but you guys want to give up Brandon, want to give up Dom Smith and Pete Alonso. That's a lot. You got to look at it from the other team's standpoint. You got to see what do they want in return. They need outfield help. They need another bat. They need bullpen help. They don't have much in their farm system. From Ernie Labar, I would still stay away from Gray and go for Castillo instead even. Though the price is steep, it is extremely high for him. Extremely high. I wouldn't do that. They couldn't do that anyway. I think the Mets had enough. I don't think he's going anywhere. From Bangkok Baseball, what do you think about bringing in Paxton? I don't really care for him. I don't care for that mustache. That weird, like, porno mustache. Really creepy thing. I don't like the way he pitches either, for that matter. From the Mothman, people that are asking to trade Pete and Dom are nuts. No freaking way. Those years were just, those guys were just rated top 10 in their respective positions. Exactly. If you look at the Mets in terms of the guys that are here, they all rated very high. 6 or 7 different positions. Or top 10. Catcher, first base, second base, shortstop, center field, right field. Let's have a very good everyday lineup. Let me tell you something about Pete. When you hear somebody being compared to guys like Nellie Fox, Jimmy Fox, Ralph Kiner, in terms of hitting home runs in their career, and Albert Pujols, you do not trade him under any circumstances. From Bangkok Baseball, Sandy loves home run hitters like him. That's right, because a guy like him can wreck a game. He can hit 3-run home run in a finger snap. From the Morph, I would trade J.D. Davis and prospect for Suarez, but not any of our juggernaut players. Yeah, they wouldn't know these guys. I don't mean Jimmy Fox. Let's say Jimmy Fox. I don't know why I said Nelly Fox. I meant to say Jimmy Fox. But, when you get compared to Ralph Kiner, and that's now 27-9, this game's over. Skadoosh. Skadoosh. Kansas City Chiefs. All right, Eric. Now, everybody, if the live stream dies, this destroyed live stream was brought to you by Eric Breen of the Cincinnati Reds. From Todd Lacotte, people are comparing him to Jimmy Fox on poll holes. If he's 90% that good, don't trade him. That's exactly right. And I think the big reason he played, I think I've said this. Pete has the type of swing that over 60 games, he can look terrible. Over the course of a season, he's a great player. But over the course of a season, you have 60 games, you look terrible. He had 50 games look terrible and then turned it around. You're still going to hit 45 home runs. Amazingly enough. Eric Breen, I'm on another stream, just popped by to say hi and leave a like. Please, Eric, get out of here. Go destroy another live stream. Go destroy some more lives online. Not this one. I have enough problems getting people on the live stream. Yeah, that Super Bowl's over. It's over. The Chiefs have no defense. And now Brady's pissed. You shouldn't have waved his finger at him, Honey Badger. Shouldn't have waved your finger at him. Now you pissed him off. That's going to be a blowout now. He's going to shove that ball, that deflated ball down their throats. From Bangkok Baseball, I'm winning money in this game. That's the only reason people watch this game is the pools. That's for sure. If the gambling wasn't involved, nobody'd be watching. That's for sure. Just saying. From the Mothman, you don't think Mahomes can score a touchdown? I think he can very easily. But they're down, 28-9? That's 3 scores? I don't know. With a quarter and a half to go? If they cut the lead down by 1 touchdown, let me know. We'll go back to the game. But I don't think that's going to happen. In my view. From Fernando. Bugs, Honey Badger is a fierce animal. Yeah, but that fierce animal waved his finger at a guy that's a shark. From Frank Matos. What is the Mets' next move? Okay. What's their next move? I would say their next move is bring in a starter. Last night I said they were going to bring in a position player. I turned out to be right. I think they're going to be very busy this week. And I think they're going to bring in a pitcher. A starting pitcher. From Brian, is there any new rumors for the Mets? Oh, yeah, because now they sign ALMORA. People thought that they weren't interested in Jackie Bradley Jr. They're still talking to him. They're still talking to him. There's also they talking to Jake Arrieta, believe it or not. He's probably done. And they have been talking to ODORIZZI, but I'm hearing that they're not talking to ODORIZZI. They're talking to him. They're not talking to him. I don't know what you're asking, Fernando Sandoval. What are you asking me? Now, please like this video and subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Frank Matos. I heard that they had interest in Taiwan Walker. Hey, he's not a bad pitcher either. Fernando, you're probably right. They should hire me for SNY. It'd be a lot more fun. A lot more incoherent, by the way. They'd have to put makeup on me. They have to get the makeup over the mask. I don't know how they're going to do that. You know. They have to get people that just aren't like robots all saying the same things. People screaming like JJ or freaking Salicata. From Ernie LeBar, Kluber was signed within hours of his workout. Arietta did his workout a week ago and still nothing, huh? That should tell you something. And nobody's clamoring for him. He's probably get a minor league deal. From Bangkok Baseball, Hut, would you take the job they said you had to pair with Martino? Depends on the money. I'd embarrass him. He wouldn't like working with me because I would challenge him. I have no problem with challenging people, when it comes to baseball. If you watched the live stream the other night on Mofo's channel, you saw that. I don't know. I'll challenge anybody. Martino wouldn't be like, Bangkok. He'd be Mitch Breitweiser. Martino would be doing that. He'd need like a drink next to him, like a drink of water, like a drink of mineral water. I wonder when that book is coming out. Hey, Bangkok, did you back that book, Red Rooster, aka the Crimson Cock? Because that seems to be that should have been out already. I should always do a complaint video about that. I haven't done one in a while. Frank Matto, sign Walker and trade for Bryant and see you in Port St. Lucie. Okay. Oh, good. You never been this close to good. You don't want to. The Mets can go to spring training. They're fine with the way they are now. I wouldn't have a problem with them going to spring training the way that they're built now. I think they can still win 90 games. Oh, Mahomes just threw a pick. Oh, that's it. You can't make mistakes in these games when you're down by 21 points or 19 points or whatever. Once you give up a pick late in the game, you're screwed, especially if you're down. Now, please like this video. I'll be back tomorrow night. We'll talk about the Mets again, of course. We really don't care about the football game, and it's paying either. That game's pretty much over with. But this live stream is not over anytime soon. Now, please like this video. From Glenda Ruiz, who's new to the channel. I would like to get the third baseman from the Cincinnati Reds. Okay. What are you giving up for, Glenda? What are you getting? What are you giving up? You can get us. You can want a player. It doesn't necessarily mean you can get him. I could come up with a trade for Suarez, but then people tend to get mad by the titles. From what, $25 for a pamphlet? No thanks. Chris Goodwin. Rich Hill's a good pitcher. Rich Hill's a very good pitcher. You won't have to give up a lot. Maybe at the most 2 years, $10 million. So maybe it'd be like $8 million for 1 year. That's not going to kill you. Oh, it wasn't a live stream, Bangkok. Remember when you cut up Cyberfrog on a live stream? It wasn't a live stream. It was just a regular video. It was more than that. I took it apart. That needed tools to get taken apart. I had to pull the nails out and everything else. It was great, wasn't it? All the memories. That was the best, wasn't it? And it's my property. Nobody could have said anything. From the Morphman, what's your trade proposal for Suarez? I got to think about it, Morphman. Maybe I'll do a video saying the Mets will land Eugenio Suarez in a blockbuster trade. Oh my God. He did it again. I'm gonna unsubscribe to you. You're a clickbait. Blah. Mothman, I've seen videos about you from other people from the comic universe. They are very top people. We have no clue there, Mothman. Things I know about them. Oh, he is. The comic book YouTube audience is toxic. The comic book YouTubers are toxic. 99% of them are. There's some real good ones that are really nice. You know, a few of them are nice. Doug Apple's nice. Douglas Ernst is nice. But the rest of them, toxic. Toxic's not even the word. Yeah. I mean, it's like the Joker, the Joker acid going into it. You go into it, you feel like the Joker afterwards. You know, they're miserable people. Yeah. All right, I'll tell you what I did buy. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ronin. Have you picked it up? It's pretty good. I've heard it's good. I've heard that from Wes from Dinging Critical. He loved the book. I see his thing. I don't have any money right now. I made a very conscious effort because I spent a lot of money last year buying books and reviewing books. That this year I don't have a lot of money, and I was out of work last year because of the pandemic. So I haven't bought any books since November. I mean before that, and since October, I've not bought anything. So I haven't reviewed anything really. People sent me stuff. I have a book, a Fantastic Four book that I want to review. I'm like in the middle of reading it. It's one of these collector's editions. It's great. And we'll be getting Doug Apple's book in, and I'll review that in the comic book hut. And I got the Spawn book the Spawn toy that's taking forever to get here. And then this other book, the hell's the name of that book? Soul Finder, a Black Tide. From Brian, what's the date on when spring training starts? On the 17th, so it's next week. So this week on Wednesday is the 10th. The following week is the 17th. So we got 10 more days till pitchers and catchers. Yes, Ernie LeBard is Nerd Talk. You know, I deal with some really miserable people in the comic industry, and they're all, and it's funny, the ones in the industry leave me alone. Believe it or not. I have different politics from them. I have different politics than those in the industry. They leave me alone. That's the amazing thing about what I do on my channel. The industry, which is extremely political and toxic and communist, they leave me alone. The ones that have no principle, the ones that have no belief system, they're the ones that come after me. I block most of them, unless they have an alternate account. Yeah, so when we get the spring training games, if I'm home, I'll try to do a live stream during the game. I'm going to try to. I love doing the live streams in the morning. I hope you like me doing them. There might be a second live stream during the week. You need to keep an eye on that. And it might be Friday. Don't tell anybody. Shh. Might be Friday. But the big live stream will come on Wednesday. And now I'll have Pete McCarthy on of SNY, WFAN, WOR, Sirius SM Radio. So he's going to come by, and we're going to talk about the Mets. We're going to talk about the Major League Baseball. Maybe we'll talk about what might happen next season. So we're going to have a lot of fun here on Wednesday. So you need to subscribe to the channel and watch the video. The video is going to start up right away. I'm going to start up the live stream at 10 o'clock. I'll invite Pete on early, so me and him can talk before we get started. I'll wait 20 seconds to start the show, and around that, maybe 15 seconds. So when you come on, I'm there, but you gotta be there at the beginning. I know it's during the week. I know some of you work, a lot of you work, so I'm sorry if you miss. But if you want to watch a replay, you can. And it'll be just the interview. I won't have a show after where we stop talking. We'll do the interview, and then we'll shut the live stream off, and then I'll come back later on in the afternoon to talk about what we talked about, and hope we'll have some news. Chris Goodwin, imagine being a fly on the wall when Sandy went to Cohen's office and Mr. Cohen, we lost him to the Dodgers. He's not used to losing out on anything. Mets talk with Hayden. Which Mets players do you think will make the 2021 All-Star game? Well, they should have picked All-Stars for the 2020 season, Hayden. They should have allowed the fans to pick them in September. And at the end of September had done it. That would have been nice. And announced it in the offseason. They didn't do that. I wish they had. I'd say, Hayden says, I'd say Alonso, McNeil, DeGrom, Lindor, and Conforto. Well, we'll see. We'll see. That's a lot of guys. If Alonso's hitting home runs, he's going to be there. And they're going to want him to be there. They're going to want him to do another home run derby. That's for sure. Let's talk with Hayden. Do you work from home? Well, I'm working here. No, I don't work from home. But this I consider this like a hangout in a lot of ways when we talk about the Mets and stuff. I'm not a professional broadcaster. I kind of look at this as a hangout, but I do make money off the videos now, and I look at this as a business. That's why I get very annoyed when people come in here with all the negativity sometimes. From Chris Goen, do you think Bauer and Luba knew 2 months ago they weren't signing with the Mets? Well, considering what has happened here, considering how they reacted, the way they talked and everything else, I think this was all planned out. I don't think they thought the Mets would take it as far as they did. I think they thought that this is the same old Mets. They're not serious. But I think Bauer had made up his mind a while ago. And Bauer follows YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel. He knows if he talks about the Mets, people are going to watch. And I'm sure some of the videos that he talked about the Mets were probably really good. From Bryant, thinking of starting a YouTube, is the money good? Not in the beginning. It takes a while because you got to get to 1,000 subscribers. And you have to encourage, and I'm going to say this again, if you watch any of my videos, and please watch all the commercials because I get the revenue. I got some of the revenue from yesterday. And I've been encouraging you to watch all the commercials and all the ads. If you can do that for me, that is just as good of a way. Is as good of a way for me to make money than from a super chat. I've seen the money. I can't believe this, But then again, I got a lot of super chats last night. But if you are able to really. Mets Mofo says, I got a $200 donation on my stream today from an anonymous person. That is great. So that, you can make money through the ads. So that's why I'm encouraging people to watch the ads. You watch all the ads all the way through. I get all the money that's been agreed upon from YouTube. And then the super chats. And the more subscribers you get, I'm going to continue to. I learned this from Doug Tenable. I'm going to say it. People don't know Doug Tenable, but Doug Tenable has been a sort of a mentor to me in terms of doing this line. I also want to point out, which I keep forgetting, I'm on Facebook right now. I forgot. I forgot to mention that. I'm currently on Facebook doing a live stream. What do you think I would have said? But I forgot. How much does YouTube take? I think about 30. I think they only give you 30%. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they take about 70% of the ads, I think. So when you watch a video and they put 1 or 2 ads on it, please watch the whole thing, because then I get the most I can out of it. Let's talk with Hayden. No tax for money made on YouTube, correct? No, they take a percentage out, and then at the end of the year, you got to claim it. If you make, and this is one of the things I learned, is if you make under $600 from doing YouTube, you don't have to claim it. Anything over 600, you got to claim it. Now the super chats say so. I'm going to use this as an example. Mets fans only. He sent me a super chat of $1.99 yesterday. I got yesterday, and I got $1.40. That's usually the rate on a super chat anyway. Hey, this is their platform, Ernie. This is their platform. It's not my platform. They can do whatever they want. You know. But like I said, you watch a whole entire, but you watch the whole ad, which my videos aren't that long now. They're like 4, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. But if you take another minute and a half out of your time to watch the ad, I get the revenue. So that really is is a small thing, but it's very important. So I encourage you to watch the ads if you can. I know some of them are annoying, and then you just want to get to the content, but that really helps me out. And of course, the chats do too. And then the more subscribers you get, the more active it is. So, like I said, if you're watching this on replay, I'll leave comments in this video. It really helps the channel out. If you like the video, and it gets right on YouTube. So this it's not that complicated once you get into it. I don't know that much about it as probably I should, considering I've been doing this for almost 3 years now. But I've sort of learned a lot of stuff over the last year about this whole thing. Now, please like this video, if you haven't already. And again, I will be back tomorrow doing live stream. Hopefully, there'll be some moves. There's going to be moves this week. We'll see if there's any moves before lunchtime. If there's moves before lunchtime, there'll be a video around between 12 and 1 o'clock tomorrow. And that'll be a lot of fun. I love doing those videos in my car. And Mets fans only should put a goal for something you're trying to buy. People will be more encouraged. I don't want to really buy anything, mofo. I would rather keep that very quiet. That's not something I want to talk about. Can't talk about that. I would rather not do that, to be honest with you. Ernie the bar. The mob will give you a better percentage than YouTube. There are things I need, but there are also things that I have to do. The money I make off the videos is something that has to be taken care of. I can't let it go. My family's in debt, and I can't let that overwhelm us. And I'd rather not get into too much detail, to be honest with you. Ernie LeBar, buy a new mic. My mic is fine. Can you hear me? I got the mic. You know what it is? I don't have a headset. I'm holding it. So it's probably why it sounds like that. Now, when I do the videos in the other room, I have it on the table. And it sounds better. And I'd rather not do that, mofo. I don't want to do that. I appreciate it. Well, Brian, will you ever put the face cam on? Well, it's on. It's on. It's just to have a big piece of black tape over. It's not blue anymore. Black. Black masking tape. Nobody needs to know. It's not that important who I am. Just an anonymous fan. You never see me take a video of myself, taking a selfie of myself, in shock. And that's ridiculous, quite frankly. So please like this video. I'm going to go for a few more minutes and I'm going to call it a night. What's the score in the football game? Does anybody care? Let's take a look. I'm not going to turn it on. I'll just look on my phone. 31 to 9. That game's over. That game's over. From Brian, I feel like when people watch it, you have a face. Look, I look angry all the time. So I'd rather not. I have people that don't like me online. I don't need them bothering me. That's the honest truth. You know, the comic book people are crazy. And I'd rather they left me alone. Now, I just started this thing, you know, the monetization of this channel, mofo, you know. And I'm fine with the way things are. It's going rather well. Surprisingly well. Considering I just started doing it on this channel. This channel is, you know, this channel is very different than the other channel. The other channel was a struggle. You know, I was invited into a big live stream, and that would have helped in terms of what I was trying to do online, but it just wasn't, you know, compatible. My integrity is not compatible with theirs. So, you know, it's a little bit different here. Here I could talk about the team and people watch and they love the videos and I love doing live streams. You know, I love doing it, and plus it gives me something to be a little bit different. It makes me different. You know, if you think about it. Mets fans only. Just put a goal for a PS5 so I can start playing games on the channel. See, I'm not into video games. You know, I'm not into video games, quite frankly. You know, if I was into video games, then that'd be a great goal, but I don't care about video games. Hello, Michael. What do you say? How you be? Now, please like this video if you haven't already. And we'll be back doing, hopefully we'll have a video up tomorrow in the afternoon. And we'll have a live stream tomorrow. We'll have a live stream on Tuesday. And we'll have a big live stream on Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. And I will have a guest on his name is Pete McCarthy. You know him from WFAN, SNY. And from WOR. Let's talk about A's. Do the A's have a top 10 pitching rotation? Let's take a look. And this is sort of, you know, with me, it's sort of a hangout, so I can't I don't feel like doing a screenshot because then what happens is then I get all screwed up here. It takes a lot of power out of the phone. So, well, at the A's, it doesn't look like a top rotation. It's a typical A's team. Let's put it that way. Games every year, and then they lose to the Yankees or somebody like that, or the Indians. Let me take a look at Matt Chapman. And everybody asked me about him. Great defensive player. He's not a great hitter. 255 hitter. Meh. He doesn't do it with me. So please like this video and this live stream momentarily. When I get to 2 hours, I get into 2 hours. Makes it feel like I've accomplished something. The last 2 days, I've had 3-hour live streams, which were pretty good. And been very, very fun. I want to thank you all for taking the time. For taking their top 8 or 9. Well, they won a lot of games over the last few years. When we get close to the season, I'll be able to look at it. I can't really judge them right now. So again, I can't say this enough. Whenever I post a video, I really need you to watch the ads. Really need you to watch the ads that come on before the videos. Because it really brings in a lot of money, a lot of revenue into my channel. And if you can't afford a super chat for whatever reason, it's an easier way for you to help me out by watching the video and watching an ad. At most is I saw a video that ad was like 6 minutes. You know, but if you could take a time out, a minute and a half of your time watching a video. Now, not all my videos are monetized. Really, the last 20 are monetized that I have. And that includes the live streams. Let's talk with Hayden. I watch all the ads. Well, thank you. It really does help. Believe me. I'm looking at my video. I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I did this video on Chris Bryant yesterday. And I made more money on that after one day than I did on the Jose Ramirez video. After 3 days or whatever. I actually made more money. Because I didn't ask you to watch the Ramirez video. I'm watching the ads. From Hayden. The ads are like 30 seconds for me. Usually not a big waste of my life. Exactly. So if you can do that, and if you can't afford to send me a chat, that I can't believe how much money is coming from just from that. So, I mean, I can't thank you enough for that, because that really helps me out a lot. I mean, I brought in quite a bit of money just from you watching the videos that are recorded. And my videos aren't overwhelming. It's just me just sort of chit-chatting with you. Just bullshitting, All right, let me see if there's anything else we could talk about before we go. It looks like the Chiefs are going to lose the Super Bowl again. And let's take a look. People ask me, do you want to get Lenny Dykstra on? He was writing such nasty things about Ron Darling. I would never have him on. You know, write some of the stuff, saying that Ron Darling was faking cancer. Terrible. But I want to thank you all for coming by during this weird thing. I kind of ran out of gas and energy here at the end. It's been a long day. I probably should have taken a nap during the day, which I normally do anyway on the weekend. But I want to thank you all for coming by, watching this live stream, this Super Bowl Sunday Mets live stream, talking about the New York Mets. Albert Amaro Jr., I know we're all interested in that. And we're very much interested in knowing what the team's going to do this week. This is going to be a big week. They're going to bring in a lot of people. Now, I will not do a reaction video for some minor league pitchers that they brought in. I'll never do that. That seems kind of lame. But thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching the live stream. And if you're watching on replay, I encourage you to watch the ads. And I want to thank you all for coming by. I will point out this is the only YouTube channel where I don't monetize the actual live stream. So you go into the live stream, it's not monetized. Which means you're not going to have to watch any ads. But once this video is on YouTube, it will be monetized. So if you want to watch it, come back and watch it to help me out with the money. That's great. I appreciate it. So I want to thank you all for coming by. I'll be back tomorrow on the live stream. And we'll be back on Tuesday, and we'll have the big show on Wednesday with Pete McCarthy in the morning, 10 a.m. I want to thank you all for coming by, and I'll see you later.